So I'm continuing the lesson from earlier that got disrupted. Nevertheless, we continue what we're supposed to learn. Right now, can I please make sure your textbook is open to this page, 80 to 83. So we talked so far about the three uses of water: domestic uses, recreation, and what's the third one just now? Agriculture, right? The one about the plants and the animals. Okay, so the final use of water that we need to be familiar with is the uses of water that is industrial. So within industrial, can I please have you label the three different factors, the three different uses of water? First one, you use water, you may think machine, right? Factory, right? They use what? Oil, maybe? They don't actually use water. That's actually not true. Okay, so they use a lot of cooling equipment in factories and water plants, right? Because they generate a lot of heat. So that's why water is still being used there. Meaning, if there's no water, the manufacturing process actually cannot go on. So that's why it's still an important need for water there. Okay. Second one, and I think you see this diagram is inside your textbook. It should be something that you're a bit more familiar with. Okay, there's a dam. Before I give you the answer, you should know what type of electricity is this going to be. Right? There's a generator, there's a transformer. Okay, this is hydroelectric power. Right? So when it comes to the factories, when it comes to the industries, when we need electricity, so for certain countries where they have it, for example China, they have the Three Gorges Dam or something like that. So what they end up doing is they dam up the river, dam like this, dam up the river, so that then they can use it to generate electricity. Yeah. So this is another industrial use of water. And the last industrial use of water, oh, by the way, this was on the front cover of the old textbook. Last one is as a cleaning agent, right? So you use it to cool the product. So after you are done, you already have the final product. So that means you use the hydroelectric power to power the factory. Then after that, you use water to cool the machines down. Then after that, you come up with the final product. And this final product, if it's electronics, then you still need to clean it first before you're able to sell it. So cleaning. So either way is water, water, water. So you can see in an industrial process, water is actually very heavily used. So I don't know whether you're familiar with, I mean we see electronics, we think this, right? But actually electronics now is talking about specifically this chip. The transistors within the chip. So inside here there are a few billion transistors. So those transistors, the production of it is actually in this kind of clinical setting where they use a lot of water. Okay, so these are the three uses of water. Can I please make sure in your textbook as you're recording this down, A, B and C, so you know when it comes to explaining, meaning each one of them can get you separate marks. Yeah? Okay, last one, and I want to play this video. I'm not sure whether it will pan out on a recorded lesson video. How does it work? I'll try and play this video and see whether it can play on your side as well. Of course, must have advertisement. Oh my god, second advertisement. Hey, it plays. Okay, so listen out, watch out for this video.
Satu kantong lagi gede. Plastik. Ini banyak sampah. Plastik-plastik lagi. Ntar lagi 1 detik atau 5 detik lagi pasti ada sampah dibuang lagi sama warga. Situ. Tetap aja, Pak. Kalau buang sampah itu. Karena udah kebiasaan buang sampah di kali. Ini pendidikan tinggi semua, Pak. Sarjana S1, D2. Tuh warganya. Tetap kalau dia biar sekolah tinggi, tetap aja, Pak.
Yang paling berbahaya di sini adalah sampah styrofoam seperti ini. Nah, kenapa sampah styrofoam? Karena memang dia lebih mudah untuk terurai. Dan kemudian dia akan lebih mudah untuk melepaskan bahan-bahan berbahaya dan beracun seperti misalnya benzen dan lain sebagainya. Nah, yang lainnya lagi, ini seperti yang ini nih. Jadi sampah plastik yang sekali pakai. Sampah plastik. Pada plastik ini seringkali di dalamnya ini memang ada bahan-bahan aditif yang sengaja dimasukkan. Yang sangat mengejutkan, Karena ternyata logam berat yang ada pada kerang hijau itu sudah mengakibatkan kecacatan pada kerang hijau itu sendiri. Artinya kalau kita mau mencari kerang hijau yang tebal, artinya itu kontaminasi di dalamnya jauh lebih tinggi dibanding dengan yang tipis.
Coba bayangkan aja nih adanya TPA. Tetap jarak TPA dengan rumah saya kurang lebih 500 meter. Berikut ini kan keluarga saya semua. Keponakan saya yang di sekitar inilah merasa bisingnya, baunya.
Ini bermacam-macam apa namanya.
Okay, so this part of the video goes a bit further beyond the river itself. But you can already see the different sources of pollution within the waterway here in Indonesia, or at least in that particular river. So it's not all rivers lah, but at least that one is quite heavily affected. Okay, so I mean this is something preferably I will be able to go through in class. I wanted to see what is your emotional reaction to this. Right? Do you feel disgusted? Do you feel sad for the people who are living there? Do you feel relieved that you don't live there? Whatever it may be. Okay, so the causes of pollution that you can see there, right, is people literally throwing rubbish. And you can see through the video they mention that even though these people may be educated, it becomes a habit. It's like a lifestyle. The day to day they tend to do this. Okay, so these are some of the things that is a cause of pollution. So besides this, I also want to ask you what other causes of pollution there are. Right? Say for example just now the rubbish dump. It's not one person throwing rubbish. It's the entire rubbish dump. It seems to leak into the river itself. Right? You can see that there are also some factories that can dispose of waste into the water itself. So the question that I have asked next is, why is it so bad? Okay, in the context of the river itself, it's just water, right? Water will help to push the rubbish down the river, then it gets collected somewhere else. Right? Why not just put somewhere as a collection point for all the rubbish at the end of the river? Okay, the reason why it's so bad is because it is contaminating the water. The water is not safe to drink. Right? Not just that, the animals are also affected. Right? They mentioned in the video the mussel being very green and thick because of it being contaminated. So who is it bad for? It's bad for the people who are living there. It's bad for the animals who are living there as well. It's bad for the plants who are underwater as well. Right? I mean, if you block off the sunlight with all the rubbish that's above, the plants themselves also, they cannot photosynthesize. Yeah? So these are some of the things that happen just from the short video that you can see in the context of Indonesia. Of course, the next part that we're going to talk about is to see, right, if you see all these different types of sources of pollution, dirty water coming from river, denoisers throwing tissue into the river, a town with no proper waste disposal, everybody throw waste into the river and then they bathe using the river also. The village farm where the fertilizer wash along the side of the river into the from the farm into the river. Construction taking place along the side of a river. Explorer in the forest pee into the river, or Alif pouring a can of Pepsi into the Punggol waterway park. Didn't actually happen but examples. Okay, so if you were to classify them, okay, so this is the part where I wanted you guys to do in pairs. Give me a category. How will you group them? There are total only 2 groups. Okay, think the expression point and non-point. So I'll pause here for you to think about. See how will you classify them into point and non-point. You may not know what these terms mean, but see what's the difference between them. Okay, so I hope you got a chance to classify already. Going to the next slide where there is the answer. So if you haven't yet, try pause first, see what you can do. How can you group them into 2 different groups? Okay, because the actual answer is, this is an example of a point pollution. Okay, point source of pollution. This one no, I only the one that's highlighted in blue. Right, dirty water coming from a drain. Denoisers 1%, or Alif 1%, or the Explorer 1%. So you can see there is a specific source. of pollution. You can pinpoint exactly which point in the river is the pollution starting from. So that's considered a point source of pollution. On the flip side, that means non-point is the opposite lah. It's things such as the non-point source of pollution will be like this. Okay, a town with no proper waste disposal, so everyone throws the waste into the river, or everyone bathe using the river, so it's spread out. You cannot say specifically this is the exact point where the pollution comes from. For example, a village where the fertilizer wash along the side of the river side of a farm into the river. Again, no specific point. The entire farm, and the farm is huge, right? Imagine the farm is actually very, very big. Or construction taking place along the side of a river. Again, the entire side of the river, all of them getting polluted from that point onwards. So it's not really point source of pollution because the entire project is causing pollution. Yeah. So the question I want to ask, which one do you think is worse? Right? Point being only at one spot, so easy for you to monitor, easy for you to control, easy for you to do anything about it, to see who's the owner of it, versus non-point meaning anywhere, so it's a bit hard for you to actually control it. Alright, so this is the activity that I would like you to do. Read textbook page 86. I want you to annotate, meaning your textbook shouldn't be clean. Page 86, I want you to record down what is the cause of pollution recently in the River Rhine. It is the one in Europe. Then, is this point or non-point pollution? I'm not giving you the answer here. Okay, maybe there will be a separate video, or maybe I'll upload the answer separately. But I want you to annotate first. So the domestic waste, mining waste. So this one is not in the story, by the way. This one I researched for you. Okay, domestic waste, mining waste is the main cause of pollution from 1950s. So again, I ask the question, is this point or non-point? Okay, lastly, in the article itself, they mention 2 strategies to solve the problem of water quality. So what are the 2 strategies that they put? And last one, bonus question, besides pollution, what other water related problems will a country face? This one maybe I won't give any prizes. Can I think? I'll see how it goes. Yeah, because at the next slide, I'm really going to give you the answer for question number 5. But yeah, first 4 questions. Okay, annotate within your textbook itself. Okay. So, how do we fix it? What's the solution to all the problems relating to water in the world today? First one. So far we talk about pollution, right? So it's all about the dirty water. So how do we improve on this? Is by improving water quality. Whether we clean up the water, we regulate to fine, not fine as in fine very small, fine as in make people pay money, that one, right? All the polluting industries. Or you set up emergency clean water supply. So in case people need the water that's contaminated, people can still drink. By the way, these are all points that's also within your textbook. So as you read through them, look out for these points. These are the different arguments that are there. Okay. Next one is the other problem, the Singapore problem. We don't have a problem with water quality being polluted, but we have this problem of not enough water. Okay, so what do? We reduce water consumption. How? By using tax or by getting companies to reuse the water. As you read through, you'll find this out. Okay, so again, first strategy, second strategy. We will put A and B. Okay, improving water technology. This one is Singapore, very classic Singapore. Okay, we have new water, right? We have desalination. And the last one, we import water from other country. Over again, classic Singapore. Okay, so as you read through, I want you to look out for and find out all these different arguments, which also leads me to your holiday assignment. Okay, your holiday assignment is just about these few strategies. As you read through page 86 onwards, you should be able to find all the information you need to fill in the blanks and to answer the question. But importantly, and I hope this is something that we do as a class, even though I may not continue with you any further, but I hope this is a skill that you learned and you will continue onwards. Just because you answer inside the worksheet it doesn't mean important things you don't record inside your textbook. So as you go through, as a teacher, Miss Tan, when she takes over to teach you, please remember your textbook to always be recording the key learning points. Highlight in advance, read first, underline, annotate what's the key learning points there, so that when you revise, because remember ultimately when you revise, you always open your textbook to read anyway. The key points are all already there. Alright, okay, so that's my last advice to you lah. Alright, anyway, so again, thank you for a brilliant semester with you guys. That's all for my video.